It's Don here from the board. Thanks for coming along and checking out this video. Today I'm going to be having a look at another switch opening tool. So today what I'm going to be looking at is a couple of nutcrackers. Let's switch over to the desktop. So there's a bit of a backstory on this tool, and you can see I got two of them here, and they are actually a little bit weird in that they are a different color and set. So the Nutcracker has actually been around for a little while. There's been a group buy of these, and they've also been released via Massdrop. I got these much late into the game because these are actually B stock, C stock, D stock of the Nutcracker. Now I know that they haven't actually said, Lewis from Discord actually said that they are really just B and C stock, they're not really D stock. But what happened was the actual early manufacturer of these, they had a lot of problems with defects, and there was physical damage on some of them, there was anodization inconsistencies, anodization damage on them, and they just had baskets of these lying around. And rather than them going to waste, they examined a whole bunch of them to find out if they would actually be suitable and still functional, and they determined that they were. So they offered them at a very good price, which was essentially half price, for a set. And they gave a discount, a slight discount as well, on if you actually got the pair. So I managed to pick up both types for essentially the price of one. Now, the only thing is that I'm not 100% clear on is these actually came with like a bag, not a bag, like a case, kind of like a soft camera case with PU, leatherish zip thing. I don't have a picture of it, but when these came to me, they were just in bubble wrap. So, but I'm not upset about that because for what I paid and what these are as B stock, C stock, then you kind of have to expect that. And that's also why I've got a mix of anodization. Now, the interesting thing is the black anodize is a complete re-anodize. So they cleaned them up, and some of them they chose to completely redo in black, whereas some of them were okay enough that they didn't feel the need to re-anodize them. So that was cool. It's just interesting that they were like, you know what, they can have a blue and a silver one, a teal silver one. So if you're not familiar with the Nutcracker, essentially what it is they're switch openers. They're just big, beefy, hefty switch openers, and they are switch specific. So one side is a cap piece, and one side is the actual opener. It's got a O-ring here, a gasket essentially, which gives the tightness to the fit, and of course prevents them from separating. Now over time I would expect that there would probably be some wear in that O-ring, but you can see it just comes off, and if you need to get a replacement O-ring, I guess you just find one, and then that problem is fixed. So it's quite neat. It's a clever way of designing it, I guess. There was a little bit of controversy on Massdrop about these because they hadn't accredited the TianYueLab people and Lewis, because it was a conjunction manufacture, buy and sell through Massdrop, but that kind of got fixed up after it was raised within the comments. So noting that this is meant to be B stock or C stock, let's just have a look at what potential damage there might be, if I can get the camera to focus on it. There we go. Okay, so this one, there is some edge damage there. You can see that that edge has been slightly flattened, so that's been impact damage there. That's all that looks like is really the issue there, whereas on this one you can see that there is a mill issue there. Maybe you can kind of see it if it's, there we go. So they kind of ran the actual milling tool a bit too far and took a chunk out of that there. So that's probably not very good, as well as the fact that there's a bit of an anodized mark there as well. So it looks like it's been impacted by something that scratched that part. Now with the black one, because it's a reanodized, I would expect that the black one, I've looked at it already, is much better and cleaner on the anodize. And it is. Now, actually this one's got that same tooling, so that must be deliberate to allow air into it. You probably can't see it very well, but you can just see on the lip there's a little bit of a space there that's been done. So that is obviously deliberate, but the anodize has been damaged on that. That must be what lets the air out, otherwise you'd have a hard time getting that on and off, which is fine. But any defects that I can see here just don't seem to be visible since they've reanodized it. So it might have been an anodization thing. There's a bit of a flat-ish edge over here on the round that's probably not very easy to see with the light on the camera. So one is Cherry MX, which is this one, and then this will open the kailh box switches with a much more simplistic design. Now they've got a good heft to them. I'm not going to be bothered pulling out my scales because it's not that big a deal. Why would you want something as heavy as this and hefty as this compared to say something else which was like 3D printed switch cracker or the KBD fan's really small one? Is I suppose it just feels good, nice in the hand, and it looks nice. It's just something unusual because you're like, hey, what's that? It's a switch opener. Whether you'd carry one of these around and take it with you traveling depends. I mean, can you sacrifice 20, 30, 50 grams? Probably. So I've got a kailh, I have a Cherry MX green switch here. Bit of clicky. And we're going to try it on this MX opener. So let's just get the orientation right. So we'll just sit that on. So the prongs should go underneath each of those feet. Focus. There we go. Okay, just like that. And of course it's supported on the sides there. And assuming that this does its job, if I push down it should. There we go. It separates the legs and the switch top is open. So that's pretty neat. Very simple, well constructed, quite durable. And of course if I wiggle that, now of course the table's not in focus. And of course if I open that, then everything comes apart. So that's pretty cool. Now I'm just gonna put that alignment back in. Getting them out, a little bit of a wiggle, nothing too much. And yeah, Bob's your uncle. Works a charm. So in, on, separate. Very quick, very effective, very reminiscent of the switch cracker. It's just kind of like in metal. So that's a nice tick. And then now we've got a box switch here with the big wide plates on the side of the housing. So once again, let's just make sure they're on the right sides and push. Okay, so it's separated it, but upon lifting, because it doesn't have these sidewall holders, so this one might be interesting to get a focus on. Oi. Hello. You can kind of see it there very blur, but there's actually a strip, a cut into that side piece. There we go. And that actually holds the the bottom of the switch like if it was clipped into a plate. And I think that's actually really neat, because not having that on the box switch version over here means the moment that I opened up the switch top, which it is open, and I let go, the whole switch comes up with it. And it doesn't really sort of hold the bottom of the switch well. So let's just put that back together again. Come on. Oi. What are you doing? You are being a very difficult just what I need. Alright, there we go. So let's just snap that back together. Right? So once again, just going to rest that on top and push down. Oh, well, that did a bit better. Okay, so that actually separated it completely, and then that lifts up quite well. So I guess that's just user error or familiarity, or how hard you push down, because I didn't push that hard on the first try. Let's try that again. Yeah, okay, so that came up pretty well. Nice, separated it, and then the bottom comes off. Cool bananas. So that works really, really neat. Come on. Wait, what on earth are you doing? All right. Watching me struggle with getting this stem in. This thing's giving me the runaround. I'm sure this is very entertaining for some, maybe. Hey. This is also why I don't lube switches. All right. So there's a quick demo of how the Nutcracker V1 works, and it's kind of very general basic features. It's well designed, nicely machined, has a good amount of weight and feel to it. It's a bit of a fidget kind of device, because you can just hold it in your hand and play with it and stuff like that. I'm not going to be too fussed about if I drop these or damage these, because of how much I paid and what they are in terms of their B stock. Still fully functional. Now, what I do want to though roll into in mentioning is that there is actually a version 2 that is going to be available, and that includes a full brass edition, which I think is absolutely fantastic. Though at a price tag of 60, that's quite a bit for a tool that I have. The interesting thing about the V2, as you'll see, is that it actually has both types built in. So you can see the kailh type is there, and that's the Cherry MX type over here. That's what it looks like fully assembled. So it's going to have a cover cap on both sides. Now, if you don't have any of these tools, if you don't have a KBD fans one, if you don't have those arm bits that you put in and squeeze together, if you don't have a switch cracker or any other of the range of switch top opening tools, and you want to invest in something that is going to last you a while and has the potential to look good and patina and age and whatnot, a bit of style, well, this that way. That brass thing down there is going to be a great investment for a long-term use. You're maybe not something that you want to chuck in a bag and carry with you, unless if you have the extra weight, because I would say it's probably going to weigh as much as these two sets together and then some, being brass. All right, well, that's it. Good luck to the TianYueLabs and iLewis for getting this MOQ and buy happening. I hope that it works really well. I would love to see one of these, but I just can't justify spending $60 on getting one of these, as cool as they would be. Well, there we have it. I'm going to wrap there. So thanks for checking out the video. If you like this kind of stuff, please hit that like button, please hit that share button, and of course, please hit that subscribe button as well if you're not already a subscriber to our channel. And don't forget, we have a podcast, weekly podcast, at least I try to get it weekly done, where we talk about whatever's happening within the mechanical keyboard community. So, as usual, until next time, happy clacking.